Hello, plannerettes. How are you? Now, if you've ever opened your planner, felt completely overwhelmed, and thought, where do I even start? This one is for you. Now, maybe you've been juggling a million things and your planner's become another to do list that makes you feel behind. Whoops. Instead, could hear something in my ear instead of supported. Okay, look, I've been there too. That's why today I want to show you how I use my planner to care for myself, not just plan my week. So if you're ready, I am ready. Let us go. We'll be setting up my well-being planner spread and weekly spread today from my Ultimate Planner Bundle printable, and I'll share how mood logging, building well-being habits in key areas of focus, and small resets can actually bring more calm into your week, and how planning ahead will give your future self some guidance when things don't go to plan. So let us check out, before we get started, who is here in the live chat with us. Let's check it out. Well, hello there, Susan. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. Hello, Cindy and the Plannerettes. Thank you so much. Now, I think Annabelle here, I did do a Google Translate, so hopefully it is all, I translated it correctly, is how to watch the live stream in Spanish. I don't think you can, because YouTube will transcribe or look at the transcription of the live stream afterwards. So hopefully you might be able to, I don't know if you can also do capture, what is it, subtitles. So hopefully maybe you can watch it afterwards. Fingers crossed. Is this live or a premiere? Yeah, this is live. Lucky lady number 38. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. Mama Mit Tamara, how have you been? Oh, how huge is this? How huge is the font of this? Oh, it's live. It's awesome. And I appreciate you being here. You must be new here. If so, welcome. Yay! Welcome to my live stream. For those of you that are new here, I am Marianne, and through my own planning, habit tracking, well-being, and joyful self-care, hope you can get inspiration so you can move from overwhelmed, stuck, anxious thoughts, stressed out, to being calm, more clear, and add joyful, self-care into your planning day. So if you are also watching on the replay, do not forget, I love reading your comments. Type in, team replay, or follow along and answer the questions that I ask of the live chat. So then that way, we can really have a look. Hello, Ali. Nice to see you. Please let me know what BSAS stands for. Is that something what is it? Shortened for what state as well as what country. Thank you for the warm welcome. Excited for the decorating and planning. Yes, hopefully you can get some ideas and inspiration for your own planning. Now, look, I will tell you this. I'll be honest. Towards the end of last week, I was feeling quite anxious and lots of, self-doubt, limiting beliefs. So even though, I use planning to help me get through these sort of things, I'm not immune to it. Life happens. And so it's the same, I'm sure, with you, whatever type of challenges you may have in your normal day-to-day life, whether it's work, family, if you're studying. All right, we're going to use our planner to help guide us. Okay, so when those days when your mind is racing but you can't quite pinpoint why am I feeling this way, why am I thinking this way, that's where your planner will come in to help you out. That's at least how I use my planner, because I already have small well-being habits built into my pages. So that way when those thoughts arise and those anxious and stressful moments happen, I have something to fall back on. Little simple things like drinking water, stepping outside for fresh air. This was me. I think this was Friday or Saturday. I just couldn't get out of my own head. So I went for a walk and got some fresh air, sat myself on a bench and just, if you follow me on Instagram, you can actually hear, the birds chirping. And so, self-care, little small things you can do, like stepping outside for fresh air and getting sunlight, tidying up a little corner of your space. For me, I tidied up my sewing table. It was like I was, throwing lots of junk on there, things that I didn't know where to put. And then when it was messy, I actually have, 3 pairs of pants that I purchased that are too long because I'm only 4'10" and 3/4, that have been sitting in my cupboard or in my drawer for who knows however many months because my sewing table was full of junk. So one of the ways that I used my planner is, what sort of things can I do? And tidying up your space is a great way for you to look after yourself and your environment, as well as, doing my nails. So I do my own little gel nail kit at home. So it's these little things that help me reset my thoughts and my energy. And that's why I always make sure my planner has a space for my well-being, not as an afterthought, but something I can check in regularly. So that's what we're going to do today, is use our planner not just for our tasks and to-do list, but also for our self-care, where we are looking after us and we are putting ourselves on top of that priority list. Buenos Aires, Argentina. Thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you so much. All right, so what we're going to do is grab your planner, whatever you have at the moment. I am using the Well-Being Planner spread, as well as the Well-Being spread of my Ultimate Planner bundle printable. So let me quickly pop that on through the live chat. It is also in the description below, and currently I have a 20% discount happening. I started it last week. I was going to end it last night before Monday ticked over, because I am here, for those of you who may not know, I'm here in Sydney, Australia, and it is 5 a.m. on a Monday morning. And I thought, you know what, I'm going on live. I'm going to show them my planner pages. I've extended the 20% discount until 12 p.m. my time today. Okay, so make sure you can, take advantage of this discount. It has, I'll show you a little bit later, all the different planner pages that comes along with it. So don't miss out. If you've been thinking about it, this is the perfect time to get it. All right, so now I love using, my favorite pens, markers. So I have the things I'm going to use today. I have it already, set aside here. So because October is, Halloween theme, we don't normally celebrate Halloween, much here for ourselves anyway, our family. When the boys, I have 2 boys, a 16 and an 18-year-old, when they were smaller, they did the trick-or-treating, although my 16-year-old, who's on the autism spectrum, still has, loves all these trick-or-treating. And the apartment block that we live in, some residents are going to go and decorate their doors and have little, lollies for the kids and the young kids at heart to do their trick-or-treating. All right, so I'm going to embellish my page today, and I'm going to be using, my favorite markers, use your favorite pens, stickers, washi tapes, and use these different stationery that you have, not just to make things look pretty. Okay, of course, making things look pretty is brilliant, but also it helps you actually want to open your planner pages. When your planner pages are, colorful or aesthetically pleasing to your eye, it's going to help reflect your personality. So if you like minimalist planner pages, just do, pen and maybe one color. If you're like me, where it's like a an explosion of rainbow colors that makes you happy, then your planner pages is going to feel more inviting. It's going to be a space that you want to spend time in. So if you're stuck in a planner rut at the moment and you go, I haven't opened my planner pages at all in a while, have a think. What sort of things is going to help invite you in, whether it's color, whether it's stickers, it's going to give it that creative spark and also give you that creative break by taking time to embellish it. Hello, Irene. Nice to see you. You look so young. Oh, thank you so much, Lucky Lady 38. I turned 50 at the beginning of this year. I don't feel it, and I don't think I look it, and sometimes I don't think, well, in my head, a 50-year-old looks like, the Golden Girls, your Betty Whites when they did that episode. So I don't feel like I'm 50. And nowadays, what do they say? 50 is the new 40 or whatever it is. All right. I appreciate that so much. Yes, Lucky Lady 38 and so fresh. Thank you. Hello, Irene. Nice to see you. Hi again, Marianne. Girl, do you sleep? No. Well, I napped. Just before I started, Tracy, I was thinking, oh my goodness, I think I'm starting to fall asleep. No, I don't nap. But I do sleep, and take lots of naps. You look amazing. This is called dry shampoo. And just used my, curling wand to just give it that nice little flick at the bottom. So I appreciate that. Yay. Yay, Erica, you made it. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. All right, so add color. Add fun to your pages, because what's going to happen is it's going to help calm your mind and make planning feel lighter and more enjoyable. Now, also do be mindful that if you're not into color, you don't have to use color. I actually would love to do those, monotone, neutral colors, in the browns and the greens, in the soft pastel colors. I've tried them, but for my eyes, for the way my brain works, it feels like it needs more. If it needs more for me, it needs more plus add some more. So whatever aesthetically is pleasing to your eye, do so. So then you start to enjoy it. So you start feeling, if you're feeling disconnected from your planner lately, spend some time. So what I did already prior to coming on, the way I work out what sort of color coordination I would do. So I practice the font that I'm going to use, check a few different colors in my markers. So today I'm going to use the Tombow Fudenosuke, the black one. I think this is the soft brush. I never know until I actually use it. And then I'm going to highlight the edges of my letters using the zebra mild liner, and then use the fine tip end instead of the chiseled end. And then for washi tape, so this I think is just a generic brand. I think this one is from Filofax Moonlight Collection. So I'm going to use those two at the top of my planner page, and maybe embellish a pumpkin little doodle or something if there is space. And then for my weekly, I'm also going to use the Uniball Signia White Gel Ink Pen. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm going to do. So if you are, stuck for what type of hand lettering font to use, who's your friend? Pinterest. That's how I do it. But I have my go-to hand lettering font. So let me just zoom in a little bit. Irene says, how do you like being in a disc-bound planner? I love it. you know, because it's a novelty. It's something new to me. But the A5, the sizes, of course, is A5. I, printed my planner printable on A5 size. Let me just see, where is my little cheat sheet? Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and get the brush tip of my marker as flat as possible to create a broader stroke. And then one side, I'm just going to thicken it up a bit so it has that faux, calligraphy style. I make sure to ensure that I outline with the orange marker. I'll leave just a tiny little space in between each color, so then that way the orange outline don't blend into each other too much. So really, whatever your handwriting is, for the uppercase, just do that. Just make the first marking just like that, and then just thicken one side. So normally it'll be the left hand side of the letter. And then do not ever think that your hand lettering or your handwriting is not, because I think I read a comment earlier that, they're not too fond of their writing. Your hand lettering is unique to you. It's the way you hold your pen, you hold your marker. And do you know, if you check out, those creative markets that you purchase, fonts, digital fonts, if you put hand lettering fonts, like actual, hand lettering, there are some, like, the letters are all, looks like it's either, hand drawn by young kids, or it has the quirkiness to it, and even some hand lettering. The way the styling of it is, they call it, bouncing. So the letters aren't all lined up at the top or the bottom. So really important that you start to embrace your hand lettering. I know a lot of us, it's the same way when we, listen to our own voice. You know how a lot of times, well, I don't like my own voice. But that's the way you hear yourself is actually different from the way others hear you, because the sound and the audio comes out, goes through your eardrums. And so don't think that your voice is, or your hand lettering is bad, because then you're denying yourself of your uniqueness. That is you. And then the way you do your hand lettering is authentically you. And if you think it's messy, just think of it, that's the style, right? And so now I'm just going to grab my the zebra mild liner, the fine tip end, and just very lightly, not too thick, outline the edge of each letter to give it sort of like that glow, that Halloween glow. Okay, so let me know if you are with me in the chat right now. Are you planning and embellishing along with me? Because I know for a lot of you, you're still in your Sunday afternoon or Sunday evening. So let me know if you are planning along, or you're just hanging out, seeing what this Marianne girl is all about. Okay. So of course, it's very important. Really, you should wait until the black ink is dried, so then that way you don't get the transfer of the black ink on your highlighter or your other marker. But hey, we're gonna go along as is. And anyway, it gives that spooky feeling, we don't want it to be too bright. We do want it sort of like that, that dark Halloween feel to it. Okay, so then there we go. What do you think? Very simple, very easy, yet very effective. All right, so let me just pop that back onto my now I am going to be zooming in and out, so hopefully you don't get motion sickness, me moving the camera. But it's easier to do it that way when we need to get into the granular vision to zoom in. I'm just going to get that little white bits there so then it doesn't have, all right. Oh, and there's another one there. And then because this well-being planner spread, the way I created it is to be able to see how this, can you see the very faint dots? Okay, so then that way you can write your headings nice and straight, or if you're going to add washi for embellishment, you can line it up nice and easy, because I don't know about you, if it's not lined up, I'll be like, take the washi tape off and put it back on again. And because it is wide enough to be able to stack on or layer the washi tape, I did it that way. So then, you know, I can use up my washi tapes, a lot more of my washi tapes, rather than I'm just trying to, I'm going to do it this way, because normally I would be right above it, but I can't do that or else you'll see the top of my head. Okay, where is it? And then just stagger it like that. All right. Tamara, I enjoy my Sunday evening with you by a cup of tea. Oh, I'm so lucky to keep you company. Thank you for choosing me, you know, to keep you company. All right, so the end of that washi tape is not sticking down because I probably didn't flatten it last time I used it. So make sure to do that, okay? All right, so that is the top of my well-being planner spread. As you can see, what I did is I planned ahead what type of font am I going to use Pinterest to go and research some hand lettering fonts that you like, and you can always, if there's a certain style you like, you can always change up the color to suit whatever theme that you do. I don't normally do themes too often, is because well, I used to say I'm not good with color coordination. I'm trying not to say that anymore because I am learning. I don't know it as well yet, but I am learning. But majority of the time, I do themes of Halloween, Christmas, Easter, maybe Valentine's and New Year. Any other time, I just go to my rainbow, my go-to rainbow colors, Roy G. Biv, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Okay, but today I'm going to do a black and orange theme. All right, so then the next part of the well-being planner spread that I'm going to embellish is my morning journaling or my mood log, okay? So really important that when you are decorating your planner pages, it'll give you that creative spark, which might help, if your planner has been stuck on the shelf, or you haven't opened it for a few days or a couple of weeks. Finding these little joys and enjoying your stationery can maybe get you back into planning, all right? So think of different ways to add fun and joy and color into your planner pages. And there is no right or wrong way. So one week you may not embellish, another you might over embellish. Okay, so if you go and not embellish a particular week, it's not as if, you failed your planner. It's just something else took of high importance. All right, so really important. We can't, I'm learning each and every day that I can't compare myself, or I can't compare my planner pages to someone else's, because they have a different lifestyle, they have a different way of thinking, they have a different way of seeing the world, right? So what's going to be aesthetically pleasing to them? Okay, so let me quickly have a look. Erica says, let's just pop this over here, Erica, so we can see it more. All right, just hanging out, finishing my breakfast and smoothie, about to have coffee, but also planning in my, Franklin Covey. I'm assuming that is compact this year because I did a big move and got rid of basically all my supplies. That's a major change. I love that. And see, same thing. 1 minute we can be over inundated with so many planners and stationery, and then the next we might have to go and move, change things around. And that is because doing that is because you're planning for your season. So you might be busy and you cannot manage too many planners, or you might need to add creativity or novelty of changing up your planner. Just like Erica did, changing things up is important to know that if it makes sense to you, then that's the way you should be planning. All right, so mood logging section of my well-being planner spread. So here there is actually, I don't know if you can see, really faint gray boxes. And then again, anything to help, help my embellishment line up properly. And so, because I'm one of these that things have to be parallel, things have to be perpendicular at a right angle. It's just the way my brain works. I actually prefer columns more than rows, because I like when my markers or the beginning of my sentences all line up. So really, really weird, how these sort of things will affect the way you plan and your planner setup as well. So let me just, while I just want to make sure, because I know when I talk and write at the same time, I can mix up my numbers. I think I did my dates correctly. Yay. All right. Okay, so 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Again, I'm going to use my highlighter. So this section here, and look, it only has 2 lines per day. This is where I log my mood. Most times I do my mood logging in the morning. It's one of those simple things that really make a big difference into the start of my day and planning my day for the new day. And when I write my mood, I ask the question of, how do I feel? Why do I feel that way? And what is it that I can do to make myself feel better? Okay. And asking or logging my mood this way, it's not about analyzing or judging how I feel, because you shouldn't really judge how you're feeling. Okay. They're not neither good nor bad. They're just a message trying to communicate to you that you are feeling a certain way because maybe of, something that happened, or maybe someone said something, or you got an outcome that you didn't really want. Okay, it's about checking in with yourself. So when you take, it only takes me, I think when I write it down, a minute or 2 minutes, because sometimes I'll stop to think, how I really feel and why I feel that way. It only takes me a couple of minutes to write down how I feel. And like noting and acknowledging how you feel, you'll start to see patterns. So if every Monday, why does it every Monday I feel this way? How come every Friday I feel this way? You get to start to see patterns, and this is going to help you, note down and notice what lifts you up and what also drains you. Okay, so when you do any type of tracking, whether it's mood logging, habit tracking, sleep, step, eating healthily, expense tracking, it's all really about awareness. So if it's one of the things you want to, work better at, I'm just trying to see, work better at, then you won't know if you're making any progress unless you track. I think it's Peter Drucker, who's a productivity guru. He says what you track you can manage, or what you note down. I'm going to see. you can improve. You can see your progress. All right, so what I've got here is I've just got that little space at the bottom. This, thickness washi tape is too wide. So if you ever find yourself, you want to embellish a particular area on your planner, but you don't have the washi tape that you have is too thick, very, very gently, just hand tear your washi tape in the middle, and then this little jagged edge will gives your well, for this one in particular, a nice feel to it, because October is not, the style of Halloween themes is not, straight edge. So here, right there it is, there's one half, and I'm just going to put that at the bottom, just to add that little bit of embellishment at the bottom of my page, and then that ties it in as well with the top here. And so see how now it balances it out. So if you have all these washi tapes that you've been hanging on to, and you haven't used enough, this is a really good way. If you find any space on your planner page. Hello, Laura, nice to see you. Hello, hello. I'm late, but I'm here. No, never too late. I appreciate you being here. Okay, so look, that has now balanced it out. So, right, so now when it comes to you're logging your mood, like I said, how do you feel, why you feel that way, and what is it that you can do for the day that's going to help you feel better. And then what you're doing when you are logging your mood, you are training your brain to pause before you spiral, before you get all anxious, before you get overwhelmed, before you get stuck, or at least alleviate the intensity of that overwhelm or anxiety that you may feel at the beginning of the day. Sometimes, you might go, I mean, what's the point of logging your mood? So what if I'm angry? So what if I'm sad? So what if I'm upset? Really, this is a great way for you to start noticing if you do have any patterns. If on the beginning of the week you feel overwhelmed or stuck, you ask why. Because every Monday we have a meeting and my boss asks too much already of me, and I haven't even started my computer, and already, they are on to me going, why didn't you do this last week? Why didn't you do that last week? Or why is it that on Saturdays and Sundays I feel good, I feel relaxed? It's because I do fun activities. And then you go, maybe I can also do fun activities during the beginning of the week, right? So doing it this way, logging your mood, as you can see, I don't get to do it all the time or every day. That's okay, because it's not about perfection. Here, I did my mood log for Sunday morning at this morning when I woke up at 3:20 a.m., right? So Tracy, I woke up at 3:20 a.m. To get ready for today, because then I have a nice relaxing coffee, do my stretches, and then put my face on, turn on all my equipment. So that way I'm not, rushing into the live stream. So just a couple of lines. And it's nice to look back sometimes if, you'll have a bit of a brain fog like I do and can't even remember why you walked into a room. This is a great way to go, on Tuesday I felt good because I sorted my email dilemma at the end of the day, right? It helps remind you, clock those wins, which is really, really important. So logging your mood, you get to see what lights you up or what drains you. And it's going to make it easier for you to help plan your week around what truly supports you. Okay, so really important that if you know you have a hard time in the morning, what is it that you can put into your planner to help uplift you? Not just look what looks productive on paper, not just, I got to check my emails, I got to go do a workout, I got to go, go to a meeting, all these appointments, I got to pay this bill. But what is it that will help energize you or make you feel good if you're, feeling a little bit low energy, or what will help you continue the momentum if you are having a great morning or a great day? Okay, so let me know if that's something. Tell me, who does a type of mood logging or acknowledging how they're feeling currently in their planner? Let me know if this is something that you already do. Pop it in the chat, or if you are watching on replay, let me know right now if you log your mood or acknowledge how you're feeling. Because all we're doing here is we're just training our brain to look for the signs, look for the signals to help us learn better. When these things happen, when we feel this way, I know last time I felt this way and then I did this, I felt better. And so you are building that muscle memory to start noting how you feel and what it is that you are like to do that will uplift you. Okay, so instead of just reacting to how your week goes, you actually get an opportunity to respond to these emotions and these moods with more awareness. And guess what? And kindness. Susan from our Plannerets Inner Circle membership, when we do more of these journaling or logging, she says, oh, I was not aware of these things, because we bottle it in. We just avoid it, or we cover it up by looking busy. If we're not looking at ourselves and looking after ourselves, that's when things break, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And the last thing you want is to reach the end and have a mental breakdown like I did in February of 2023. And when you have low moments and low thoughts, let's address it before we get to that part. Okay, so really important. Let's quickly have a look at what everybody is saying. Ali, I hope I'm saying your name right, Ali. I love how you organize your time for your YouTube channel. I would love to learn how to make my own channel, but I wouldn't even know how to start. Just video. A lot of the times, I actually started this channel on a Saturday morning, because I would be planning just like I am now. And I thought, instead of sharing it on my private Facebook group and bugging my family and friends, why is that Marianne sharing her planning session? And because I love following other planner accounts, I went, I'll just go and videotape what I do. I'm already doing it. So if you've got a phone, and just get yourself a little tripod, or I've seen people put their phone on top of their shelf or box, or gaffer tape it in place. Just start, because then you might go, oh, I don't like this, or you might go, I love this. Just start and just film yourself without any care at the beginning of who sees it, because then you start just like what we do with our planning. You start to build the skill, you build the momentum, you start to know what's good, what's easy, what's effective, all right? Like any habits and routines, it just takes time, and then you get to learn how, what works well for you. I log my mood every morning and decide what I'll need based on that. Brilliant, exactly. That is exactly why we log our mood, is because we go, based on my energy, based on how I feel, based on my capacity right now, what is it that I can do? And that shows yourself kindness and grace and compassion. I mean, why are you going to give yourself 20 things to do when, let's say, you're not feeling well physically, you're ill, right? You wouldn't do it. Why would you do it when it comes the same way when it comes to emotional well-being, when you're not 100%, or mentally you're, just blah, you're stressed and just overthinking things? You wouldn't do that if you were ill, right? If you've got the flu, you'd rest. If you've strained your ankle, you would put your feet up. Just because we can see physical ailments or limitations, we stop. But because we can't see emotional or mental well-being, we think that we have to power through. I love that. I love that you decide what you need to do based on how you are feeling. Uh, Budgeting Mama Irene says, I use a year pixel for mood tracking. I love it. So mood tracking, I'll show mine in a sec, gives you also, gets you to see your patterns, if there's any dips or that, that start to show up on a regular basis, whether it's that time of the month, that time of the week, when something happens at work, or the season. A lot of times the holiday season is not always merry for a lot of people, because not everyone gets along with their family, and so that can bring stress and strain to your mental well-being. Erica says, I don't do a mood log, but I try to do daily journaling. Well, it's the same thing, because you are noting down or what it is that you are, your current situation. Not lengthy, just one sheet, compact size. When I look back at a journal, when I look back at a journal entries, I can sense the mood, and I guess that's tracking. Yes, it is. That is brilliant. I love that. And that is for sure tracking, because you can flip back to it and then get a sense of what you felt when you were that time when you wrote it. Okay, so now when you do have an off day, so when you're not feeling as well, whether that's physical, mental, or emotional, what's one small thing that has helped you feel better in the past? Okay, so when you have an off day, what is one thing, what is your go-to that you do for yourself that has helped you feel better in the past? So pop that in the live chat. I'll go check it in a second. And so far, if you are getting value, and if you are liking, getting ideas for your own planner setup, whether it's the heading, whether it's washi tapes, mood logging, okay, give this live stream or video a thumbs up, and it's really, really wonderful to see that. Helps my little dopamine hit as well. So hit that like button, and of course share this video and this live stream with someone who might need a gentle reset too. So if you have planner friends, or hey, if you are part of a planner group, share this with them. Now, a lot of times I thought, I had to stick to one style, one particular brand, or a particular size. But like I said earlier, choose a planner that suits you, the way your brain works and your lifestyle. If you can stick to one planner for the whole year, I admire you, because I tried that at the beginning of 2024. It didn't work for me, because I like to change things up. I like to be able to have a physical reset, just like Erica, when you narrowing down the number on the type of planners you use. I like to have resets, because that gives me a physical actionable step for when my mind does get overwhelmed. That is my go-to. That is my reset. So, when I have off days, I might change my hand lettering style. Instead of straight up and down, I'll write on a slant. I might change my the thickness of my pen nib, or the different color. So really important that, if you know of any planner groups that would enjoy my content, I would love for you to share it. All right, let's quickly have a look what the plannerets are saying. I clean. Me too. Right, I have discovered that I actually like cleaning as a reset because it has a clear start and finish. Um, and oh, what happened there? Right, it has a clear start and finish, and the transformation from messy to organized or clean or shiny or sparkling gives me that reward. So you're like me, lucky lady. I love to clean too. For this week, let me just quickly, what's going on with my comments? For this week, I'm going to track my mood and sleep and see how it goes. And yeah, just take it easy. You know, don't think like, oh no, if you're like me, when I used to do these sort of things and tracking, and I'm getting much better at it, that, oh, it didn't work the first week, and then I start to think that I must have failed. No, it's just that you haven't built the habit yet. You know, it's the same way that, you know, how when we teach our little young kids and then we're going to go and take their training wheels off, right? We know inevitably, yep, they might fall because they're not used to riding the bike without the balance of the training wheels. So it's the same when anytime you start a new habit, that if it, you know, you miss a couple of days and you go, well, this is me anyway. Oh, see, I mustn't be good at it. I may not be a good planner, or I must have failed. No, it's just, you just got to do it more to build the habit and the consistency. Ali says, crochet. Crochet always makes me feel better, even if it's just a random square. I love that. I love crocheting too. I love knitting. Crocheting more than knitting, because when you make a mistake with crochet, you can just unravel. But with knitting, you have to try and, you know, make sure you pick up all the loops. But yes, knitting, sewing. Hopefully I can do more sewing now that I, you know, tidied up my little sewing table. And there's actually, I tidied up under the table as well, so I can fit my chair under there. So yeah, really important. I love that. So crochet is a good way to pick yourself up with a nice little reset if you are having an off day. Well done. I love it. And of course, if you are watching on replay, make sure you let us know as well. What is it that you do, or is your go-to when you are having an off day? All right, so the next bit of the well-being planner spread that I have is the areas of focus. So here I have 7 lines, because it corresponds with the 7 key areas of focus based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life. So he says, you know, you should try and do things in 7 areas, and in no particular order: physical, mental, social, finance, home or family, spiritual, and career. Okay, so not that you have to do every day 100% on each area, but try and balance it, so then, you know, in a week's time, in a month's time, in a few years' time, you don't turn around and go, I've neglected my home, I've neglected my finance, I've neglected my connection with my loved ones, I've neglected my learning and making sure I'm using my noggin, my brain, so, you know, in later on in my senior years, you know, things like dementia and Alzheimer's aren't heightened, or, you know, so it's important that you start to do things, habits and routines, in areas that matter most to you right now. So if it's only for the moment, you only want to focus on 1 to 2 areas, then only focus on that. Or if you are new to tracking, or if you are new to, you know, creating habits and routines for yourself, don't put too many things, don't try and do too many things all at the same time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the things that I do for these 7 areas. So for spiritual, I meditate. I use the Headspace app, and that helps with the anxious thoughts and the low moments that I do have, to give me a practice that is tangible. So when those moments do arise, I go, all right, the things that I can focus on and bring me back to right now is breathing techniques, you know, breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth. And then it's a way to help center me, get me back to right now and not worrying about the past, the shoulda, woulda, couldas, or the future. What if, you know, I'm falling behind? What if this fails? So for me, the spiritual key area of focus is being mindful. For you, that might be, you know, writing in your journal and reading your scripture if you're a religious person, reading your Bible, whatever it is that will help center you and bring you in the moment and not, you know, allow the anxiety of the future or the you know, the stress of the past. Okay, so that's for my spiritual. So I'm going to write that down. So meditate. Okay, I'm going to have to look back at my previous one because I always forget what it is. For my home, I like to do 5-minute tidy up, 5-minute tidy up. Again, just like I think it was, who was it? Lucky Lady cleaning, right? So that's a great way for me to reset and refocus, 5-minute tidy up. So that's for my home. And for physical, it's get outside for a walk. So see how these are just very simple. Get outside for a walk, simple, doable, actionable steps. The get outside for a walk, if I'm not feeling well, maybe have low energy, maybe I'll just walk, you know, to the backyard if you had a backyard. I don't have a backyard. I live in an apartment block. Or if it's just walk around the block or walk for 2 minutes. You maybe walk 1 minute that way and then come back home 1 minute, and that's 2 minutes. Whatever it is, make it small enough, right? Make the habit small enough that it's easy to say yes to. Okay, and then for mental well-being. So when I did my goals, set up my goals for the new month, I'm actually going to not focus on the mental side of things, as in like learning or reading, because I want to take action. So for the moment, I'm going to leave that. Connect. Okay, so connect. So with your social key area of focus, that is, you know, making sure you are surrounding yourself with people, not just physically, but this is just, you know, DMing, FaceTiming, sending messages, sending emojis, calling a friend, organizing, catch up. It's important that human beings are not meant to be alone. You know, and sometimes you can feel alone even when you're amongst people, okay? But it's about connection, because our brain needs that connection, because then it feels that it is safe, because, you know, the brain is still made for prehistoric times, you know, the caveman days time, that you need to be part of a tribe because you are safer when you're part of a group, or else if you're on your own, you know, it's hard to fight off those saber-toothed tigers, okay? So it is still built that way, that we need to seek the connection, because then it says to our brain, hey, we have people around us, then there is some safetyness in numbers, and so then it's not going to stress out as much. So if you ever find yourself feeling stressed or anxious, ask yourself, when was the last time I talked to a friend? When was the last time I connected or sent a DM? When was the last time I caught up with, you know, family for a coffee or just a chat? That could be the thing that can help lift you if you are in a stressful or anxious moment in your life right now. It's just connecting. So that's one. Financial is, you know, if you're in debt, saving up, because money matters, are one of the top stresses of people's lives. And so it's important. So for me, again, I wanted to start tracking our expenses back in September. So we got out of debt. We had over $25,000 worth of debt back in 2017. And then we decided, all right, it's time to no longer wait for those first reminder, second reminder, disconnection letters for our utility bills because we were in debt, right? Or just living paycheck to paycheck. So we got out of debt, and then for a long while there started, kept tracking our expenses. I've fallen off that, so I need to get back on that. But that for October, it's not one of my main focus. So it's not as if we're overspending. Maybe I am with all the things that I buy, but it's not getting us into trouble. So it's not going to be a major focus. And then for career, I'm just going to put here that I'm going to look at my top priorities. Okay, so even me, even though, I talk about the 7 key areas of focus, I know I have a lot on my plate, and there are some things that when I did my end of month review of the habits I had set for myself, there's a few things I'm going to let go of for the month of October, because I am not putting that extra pressure on myself. Okay, so when you look at habits and routines for yourself, whether you're only focusing on 1 or 2 or all 7, or there's some 10 of life, and I think some other goal tracking have 8, like Maxi Life might have 8 different headings or areas. Whatever it is, however many, make it simple, make it doable. And the reason why we create these habit trackers, when we are planning a new week, is when life gets messy or unpredictable, because we can never ever plan for everything, right? These are the things that we are doing by creating a nice embellished pretty planner page, creating mood log, creating habit tracking for our key areas of focus. This is actually a way for my future self, right, to have a guidance to come back to. So I know, for example, my Thursdays and Fridays are my energy dips, and my mood, dips as well. So by having these things planned ahead of time, my Thursday or Friday self, when I'm all maybe stressed or overwhelmed or having my anxious thoughts, I can go, all right, what did past Marianne set for myself? I'll go, Marianne, just look at your planner. What is it that you can do? I might go, oh, I don't want to meditate. Oh, I don't want to tidy up. Oh, I can get outside for a walk. Okay, get outside for a walk. So you are future-proofing yourself. So if and when things don't go according to plan, you're giving yourself a little guidance to come back to and help lead you, hold your hand. Come on, let's go. We know that getting outside for a walk helps us. Come on, let's get some fresh air. This is what planning ahead at beginning of the week does. It's not a pressure. It's not to put pressure on yourself or put more things for you to do list. If you can flip the switch and think, I need to do this at the beginning of the week, because when the time comes when things hit the fan, and I'm feeling like I'm overwhelmed, I'm falling behind, my to-do list is not getting done, your plan at the beginning is your guidance. But if you do not have a well-being planner like this, and all your planner has is to do, tasks, bills, appointments, everybody else's agenda but yours, of course you're gonna get overwhelmed, because you haven't focused on the most important thing, you. Because if you're not in a good place, nothing will get done, right? Your brain shuts off. It can't make any decision. So it's really important. Let me quickly have a check before I have a look. Alice says, my spiritual practice is my tarot reading every morning before going to work. It helps me see how my energy is and what I'd like to manifest in the day. I love that. Oh, that is wonderful. You know what? I've never had a tarot reading, and that could be something I can, look into. Denise, hello. Ooh, that's a big hello, everybody. Nice to see you. Sorry, I'm late. Yes, time change messed me up. Yes, because I think it's an hour earlier for my US wonderful plannerets. Right on time, Denise. Welcome. Yes, thank you. Never too late. Always just we are here just where we should be in the right moment. All right, that's how I now start to look at things. I love it. All right, so this is a great way for you to give your future self a hug, a guidance, the helping hand, come on, or the little nudge. Come on, you know, walking outside is good for you, Marianne. You know how well it affects your mood once you've gotten some sunlight. Okay, when we write, or when I write small, consistent habits like this, just like I have here with all these little small actionable steps. Okay, and it's easier to stay grounded even when plans change, even when things shift, even when your boss puts more tasks on your to-do list, right? So that is where this habit tracker in my well-being planner spread comes in. All right, what do we think? Getting aha moments? Okay, now if you haven't done this in your own planner, don't suddenly go, I'm going to try it all at once. Only pick one or two. If there's something, and then the rest, put in a little space, maybe a running to a little list of stuff where you can go back to and go, you know what, I built the habit of logging my mood in the morning, and I'm staying consistent with that right now. And so what new things can I add? But if you try and do too many things all at the same time, you're going to set yourself up for failure, because like anything, like any new habits, it's like juggling, right? If you've never juggled before, trying to juggle 10 balls is going to be difficult. You might just start with one, bouncing it up and down, and then you'll add a second ball. All right, just the same way. All right, so I hope, again, if you are getting value, please hit that thumbs up. Okay, pop the thumbs up. And it also tells YouTube algorithm that people are enjoying this content, in particular this video. So what it does is the likes, just to let you know, your likes and your comments, these are all feeding the algorithm to say, hey, these people who like planning and planner, and self-care and all that stuff, they liked it, they watched it, people are watching it. These sets of people who've never seen Marianne's videos before might like it too. So let's send it to them. And then that's how you can help me help build my channel and get the word out. Because if I knew all these stuff way before, maybe I wouldn't have, wasted my time just being overwhelmed with all when I used to work outside of the home and get all really stressed at work and not enjoy the work. Okay, so the next thing in my well-being planner spread, let me just move this up a bit so you can see the whole page. All right, so we've talked about the mood log, we've talked about the 7 key areas of focus. This section in the middle, this is the pie chart. It's got 7 little sections that corresponds with the 7 key areas of focus based on Zig Ziglar. I color that in based on how well I did with my habits from the previous week. So let me show you just very briefly how that looks like. Okay, so this was October 6th to the 12th, but this pie chart is based on, I think this was October 5th. Let me just quickly look at the calendar. Look at the calendar. It was September 29th. to October 5th. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so see here last week, September 29th, and then I colored that in based on how well I did with the habits and routine from, oh, it's on my September. Okay, so it gives me a visual bird's eye view of which area of focus I may want to go and focus on for the new week or this week. So if a certain pie, you know, little pie goes, so the blue is for my learning. I only read or learned 2 days out of the 7 from the previous week. If that area of focus matters to me in this new week, then I have to make sure I put in extra effort to, you know, do it a little bit more consistently. All right, so that is the well-being pie chart. And then this one is for sleep. So originally when I created this planner printable, there is my correction tape. I wanted to track my sleep, but because at the moment my sleep is all over the place, and instead of trying to have this, you know, not show a good number, I'm going to change it to steps. So I'm going to put steps and try and match the font. Steps, steps. Okay, so I've just changed the lettering, and instead of hours, I'm going to put K for thousands of steps. And so let me show you what that one looked like. I haven't filled this in yet. And so, yeah, so then it tells me, okay, you need to be a little bit more consistent, or I'll start to see patterns that, okay, on Friday and Saturdays, I don't go outside. So I need to put more priority or more effort into getting myself outside. Let me quickly have a check of the chat. Azalea, hi, nice to see you. Is this your first time? Oh, have I seen you before? Look, a welcome and confetti is always nice to have. Thank you so much for joining. Let me pop this back again. My spiritual practice is to have my devotional to give me strength throughout the day, especially in this crazy world. I love that. Your devotion and your spiritual practice, that helps you be mindful. Being mindful means focusing in on the moment and not allowing outside factors, like you said, you know, the crazy world we're living in at the moment, affect you or sway you or knock you off your feet. I love that. That is really a great way for us, one of your key areas of focus. I meant prayer and devotional first thing in the morning. Yes, that is wonderful. So, yep, spiritual can be, prayers, reading the Bible, writing, your scripture or learning about the scripture, or, I'm Catholic. I don't say that I'm non-practicing. It's just I'm non-active in the reading the Bible or going to church, but I still believe in God, and I have this thing of, karma, be good to others, and hopefully that comes back around, and just being nice, and being a good person and being a good citizen. So for me, my spirituality key area of focus is meditation. What is it that I can focus on? And spirituality, other things that can, with mindfulness, can be crocheting, right? Could be reading, could be doing crossword puzzles. So don't just think spiritual in the religious sense. What is it that can help you bring yourself right now to the present moment? Okay, so I love that. That's wonderful. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so that I'm going to track my steps, and so I'm not too fast about getting 10,000 steps. It's just really getting steps, and then this is going to help visually let me see that, oi, Marianne, you haven't walked outside, you haven't gotten your outside, go outside for a walk routine. So because I am a visual learner, these things help me out. Pie charts, line graphs, okay? So, I'm I'm a little bit of a math nerd, and I with visual and creativity, so I infuse that in this well-being planner spread. All right. So the other one is wellness tracker here at the bottom, as well as taking a break. All right. So that is part. This whole planner spread, the well-being planner spread, is really centered on us, on you, and not so much your tasks and to-dos for everybody else. Okay, so really important that we are looking after our wellness and taking our breaks. These two actually work hand in hand. So the wellness tracker is going to help me stay aware of how I'm looking after myself across the week before I hit burnout, or before I get too overwhelmed, or before I get too stressed out. What is it that I'm doing to help look after myself? And then the take a break tracker right here reminds me that rest is not a reward. It is part of how you can stay consistent. So if you are feeling like one day you get your task done, woo, tick, 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 and then the next day, why can't I get myself moving? Why is it that I'm procrastinating? Why is it that I'm looking at my list and just keep looking at it and not do anything? And then again, the next day, you're more really proactive again. Okay, so that dips, ebbs and flows, that could be also affected by the number of breaks you are taking on a day-to-day basis. So breaks, of course, includes your meals, includes your your rest time, your coffee time, but it also includes just pausing and taking a deep breath, relaxing down your shoulders, or just sitting there for a couple of minutes, not on your phone. Look outside the window. They say nature helps uplift your mood. So even like fake plants, they say even fake plants, right, from IKEA can help lift up your mood. So just have a look at your environment and be aware. Hang on a second. All right. So taking breaks is not an afterthought, or it's not the thing you do after you've done your task. I've always said that if you have lots of tasks, so if your tasks are up here, your breaks should also be up here or even higher, not the other way. Not rest when you've done everything else, or rest at the end of the day. Rest throughout the day. It's the thing that's going to help you be consistent, just the same way that we fill up our tank, our cars, with gas or petrol, and don't wait until it's on empty. Although when I used to drive, I used to always have it on the E and wait until that red light goes on and think, oh, hopefully I can make it home, and get dad instead to fill the tank, but yeah, you need to fill up the tank. You need to go and check the oil regularly, the tire pressure, make sure there's water in your car, and doing your weekly checkups, right? You don't wait until the car breaks down before you have it fixed. We look after our vehicles better sometimes than we do ourselves. Same way when our computer starts to slow down and overheat. If you're not doing the regular, how you have to go and turn it off and wait 20 to 60 seconds and turn it back on, and then it works better. It's the same way as us. When we actually have a rest, we feel better, and then we can be more consistent with the task and to-do list at hand. And you watch your brain actually switches the decision-making part of your brain switches off when it's tired, because the survival mode has switched on. That, hey, we got to make sure we're alert if there's any threats, and stress is to the brain. Stress is a threat. Anxious thoughts is a threat, because it's like, why is this happening? And so it puts you on a survival mode to either fight. If and son, that's probably why I know I snap at my husband for no reason, or yell at my kids, or run away, whether that's hiding under the blanket, or not looking at your task, or freezing and just being there, I don't know what to do. Take your breaks. So when you track your wellness and your breaks regularly, you are going to start to notice little habits that make a big difference. And again, just like these habits and routine, these little wellness, I'll give you a couple of different ideas and what I track, okay? They're going to make a big difference, not just how you feel physically, you know, by resting, eating, or looking after your wellness, but mentally and emotionally as well. You know how when they say when you're hangry, when you're hungry and angry, so hungry is a physical need, angry is a mental, right? When you become hangry, and a lot of times it can be fixed by have you eaten? Have you drank water? Have you taken a break? Have you gone outside for a walk? Okay, so don't wait until you're broken to fix things. Do regular maintenance. And a great thing too is your wellness and your take a break is a great reality. It's a nice, gentle reality check. So if I see, just like this one, where is it? Okay, look, there's my habit, take a break. I took a break, but I didn't do it throughout the day. It's a nice reality check to see that, you know, it's a sign that I probably, you know, had been pushing too hard and it's time for me to slow down. And that could be the reason why, you know, I had those anxious thoughts that I didn't take enough of a break or the right type of breaks. Okay, so really important. So some ideas to track in your wellness tracker. Let me show you. I won't write it down now because I want to make sure I get to the weekly spread. Okay, so for me, drinking water. If you're thirsty, you're actually already dehydrated. So drinking water first thing in the morning, throughout the day. As they said, that 6 to 8 glasses of water or 8 ounces, I think, right? Working out, so movement, any type of movement, even if it's just, you know, squats or doing wall push-ups or doing star jumps or just, you know, high knees or marching in the spot, get your body active, or doing, you know, neck rolls or arm circles, whatever it is that quick and easy movement. Gratitude log, you know, looking, thinking, all right, because it's part of your wellness, looking after your mind, not just your physical well-being. You know, what are you grateful for? What are the things you're thankful for? A victory log. What good things happened today? What are the small wins? Eating a piece of fruit. You know, if you're feeling like you snack on junk food, that can also help bring your mood down and your energy down, because you'll have the dip and the sugar fix if you like sweet things, and then you'll have the sugar dips, okay? And adding fun self-care. Actually, maybe that's not close enough, right? For me, I'm taking medicine for my blood pressure. I've got mild hypertension. Comes with age, as well as, you know, history from my parents, my mum. And then taking a break, 1 minute deep breathing, get up and stretch, take a longer break, and then doing it again, 1 minute deep breathing, get up and stretch, tidy my desk, journal. All right, so these are the different things you can start to track. Again, don't try and do it all at the same time. Do it just adding one tiny little bit at a time in your planner or in your tracker. Okay, so water intake, daily movement, screen-free time. Are you always constantly on your phone? Maybe don't have your phone next to your bed when you go to sleep, so then you're not checking it, like, you know, all the time. Fruit or vegetables, making sure you're eating healthy, gentle gratitude or journaling. I know some of you do journaling as part of logging your mood or logging how you feel. And then, you know, small breaks, step outside for a few minutes and get fresh air, stretch. Because what happens is if you work at your desk a lot, and you're hunched over and, you know, you're using your arm for your mouse and you're typing, right? And you'll find that your shoulders are next to your ears, lower them down, because that tensed up muscles, when you're tensed up, your brain reads that as stress. It reads that as you're ready to fight something or run away from something. So the part of your brain is called the amygdala, that is the fight, flight, or freeze, that gets triggered. And sometimes it's called a amygdala hijack, right? So that part of the brain can get hijacked, and it might think that there's threat when there's none. So then when you're stressed, or when you're like all your shoulders are all tensed up, it thinks that, what's wrong? Is there any danger? And then whoop, straight away, brain switches, the amygdala switches to survival mode. It switches off your decision making. So if you ever start to go and look at your planner and your to-do list and go, I don't know where to start. I know I'm supposed to do something. Why am I procrastinating? Why can't I do anything? Because your amygdala might have been hijacked and you're in a survival mode. And that is where looking after yourself with simple things like drinking water, eating food, or going outside, or taking 1 minute deep breathing, or even just one deep breath or 3 deep breaths, and getting off your phone for a little bit, or just sitting with yourself and not look at your phone and do nothing. That's the version of switch the computer off, wait a couple of seconds, 20 to 30 seconds to a minute, turn it back on, and voila, right? Everything's working. My Word document opens up properly. The Chromes and the websites are all, you don't get that swirling little icon in the middle of your computer. It's the same with us. When we're overworked, it slows down. We overheat, especially if you're in perimenopause and you have your hot flushes. Your brain gets foggy, okay? You need to turn off, wait a couple of seconds, turn back on, and we will be better, even if it's just one deep breath, okay? So is this good? Let me know if this is like, maybe that is why I'm feeling overwhelmed, or I'm feeling a little bit stressed, or I'm feeling a little bit anxious, or I'm burnt out. Give me a like right now. If you've liked already, fantastic. Don't like again, because then it takes off the like. But if you haven't liked it yet, give me a thumbs up, or hit that thumbs up button. So many different things. A cup of tea. Who was that they enjoying? Was it Erica, who's enjoying a cup of tea, right? And actually drinking your coffee and not wait until it's gone cold and you reheat it again in the microwave. Do a quick tidy up of your desk. Get wipes or wet ones and just go and wipe off. I'm sure, like here, there's a little bit of food splashes, I'm sure, somewhere, or like dust. Okay, quick tidy up of your desk. Listen to a favorite song or a podcast segment. Text or voicemail friend to say hello. Okay. Or look away from your screen. All right, my computer's here to my left-hand side. Turn it off. Make it go to sleep. For me, I turn off all these bright lights that I have on my little, Planet Desk studio. And just go and do some mood lighting. Light a candle. Whatever it is that you take fancy that actually brings you joy and it allows you to pause and slow down, write it in your take a break tracker. All right, so if you are liking this and you've already liked and go, how else can I help this Marianne girl out? Okay. If you have had an aha moment, or are going to try one thing that I've talked about and add it to your planner, or gotten even just, a embellishing idea to make your planner page pretty, make sure to subscribe. Okay, and hit the bell so you know when I go on live, because sometimes I do the impromptu live like I did yesterday, so then that way you're not going to miss on any of my session. Because if you've watched any of my videos, so whether you've watched only one or a few, if you've watched any of my videos and you're part of the 60.4%, I think 60.4% of those who've watched my video are not yet subscribed. So make sure you do, and help me lower that number and increase the number of subscribers. So then that way, again, it's a signal to our YouTube to say, let's send out these videos to someone else. Okay, so really important. How are we going? Any questions? Do you have any questions? Ronnie Cat, hello, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you being here. All right, so if you have any question with this part of my well-being planner, so this I'll fill in, but really it's going to be exactly the same as this one. Okay, so I did quite well. Oh no, that was last week. Let me look at the this one. I did quite well with my wellness. I'm very proud of that. Got my eat my fruit. Did I have fruit yesterday? I don't think so. I've been doing my gratitude. I gotta do more gratitude and week victory log and see how your habit tracker can give you indication. Maybe because I forgot to go and write down what I'm thankful for and what I'm grateful for, those sneaky little self-doubt and limiting and negative thoughts crept in, right? Because I didn't reframe it. I didn't replace it with good thinking. I let those negative thinking get in that head. Okay, so really important that you subscribe if you've gotten any of these ideas. All right, so the next thing I have in the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable is the weekly spread. So I'm sure a lot of you have the weekly spread. So what I'm going to do, I like to do exactly the same theme as the well-being, and then I do also use the same washi for my daily planner. So then when I look and flip back, I know when one week starts, and then the new week or 1 week ends, and then the new week begins. So again, I'm just going to go and stagger and layer my washi tapes. So then that way it gives me a nice, it allows me to be able to, that keeps going. And let me see, is that straight? Yep. Okay, right, I'll probably add maybe I'll add again similar to here. So if you're just joining, the way I did the bottom is I measured out how much washi tape, and then I tore the washi tape in half just by hand, so it gives this jagged edge, and then it gives that sort of like woo, Halloween effect. Okay, so let me just pop here 1 2 3 4 5 6. I'll just do 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So then there's a little bit of color at the bottom there. Okay, so then that one, I won't do this now because I want to show you another thing that you can do in your planner to help embellish. And all these embellishing, do not forget, they're also a self-care activity. You are taking time for yourself, doing something that you enjoy, that doing a nice reset and help re-energize you and make your, not just make your planner pages pretty. So I'll do exactly the same one, but won't do that. But see how, and I'm sure you have this on your planner as well, where you've got the headings of your columns to make it the black and orange theme. I'm going to use my Tombow Fudenosuke brush tip marker. This is the black one. There is black barrel and a blue barrel, and I think this is the hard, oh, I don't know. The one's hard bristle or hard tip, and the other one's soft. And then this is what I'm going to do. Okay, am I on screen? Because I write on an angle. I'm just going to go and create, I'm going to actually, you're probably going, why are you covering up the lettering? It's because I'm being creative. I'm adding something new. And I used to bullet journal, I think from 2017 to 2019. I used the Leuchtturm 1917 dot bullet journal. And so I got into that for a couple of years. And then I discovered, or I started using ring planners. Originally started in personal size, and then went into A5. And since then, I've just mixed and matched. Okay, so let the dry ink. Now, if you also have a Tombow brush tip marker, that could be as well. But I find sometimes with the white gel ink pen that I'm going to use, it doesn't show up as well. So I found by using this Fudenosuke brush tip marker. Now I do have my Amazon storefront in the description. So in there, if you check the Fade pens, markers, and highlighters, you should see the markers and pens that I use on a regular basis, and you can check that out. All right, so then I'm just going and covering up that heading because I'm going to rewrite it. Marianne, you crazy gal. There was already a heading. Why are you doing it? Because I wanted it to be a little bit creative. So this one is the Uni Ball Signo. I think this is 0.5. Okay. And then I'm just going to write the first 3 letters of each day and try and, align it so it's in the middle. Yes, welcome back, Ronnie Cat. Yes, I love it, guys. Thank you, Plannerettes, for saying hello to everybody. Okay, so we've got Monday. So then I just do a couple of runs through each letter, and then if it still doesn't show up properly, I then go back to it, again. So I'm just going to move that here, Monday, and then, so this just gives it a nice little, if you wanted to continue the black and white theme, this is just a great way to make it, differentiate the top of your planner page. If you have your a weekly spread like this, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, okay, and then Friday. So let me know, has anyone tried this sort of like technique where you go and write over a black ink with a white gel pen? So I think I got this idea from Amanda Rachel, that's it, Amanda Rachel. So when I did my bullet journal, and so, because of course the bullet journaling style of planning, you start from a blank page. Okay, so then that one, and then I have a calendar spread here. So what week are we in? Which week is it in October? Let's have a look. So the 3rd week. We're in the 3rd week of October. So in the calendar part, I'm just going to also do a black. So then it has sort of like a balance. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So then I'm just going to make a nice black rectangle here. Doop, 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 doop. Okay, let's just fan that out so then it dries up a bit more. And where's my, so it might still be dry, especially if you've layered on a couple of layers of ink. So what are we? What are we? 13. So I have to write really small. Maybe, oh no, it'll be all right. 13, 14, 15. Can you see? Let me see if I can zoom in a bit more. 15. So yeah, just something different, especially if you're like me, who have all these stationery that you have bought, some are necessities, some not, and more, influenced, highly influenced by other planneret or other planners. Okay, and then I'll just write out the rest of the date as well. All right, let's have a look. Okay, so so this is a weekly spread, is where I normally map out my appointments. Oh, why isn't it? It's moving. Sorry. I was like, oh, it's not focusing. Sorry. let's steady the stand. Okay, so this is where I normally map out appointments, focus areas, priorities, but I don't overload it with too much. I very rarely see, as you can see, I don't use it as my place to plan my day, because I do use the daily planner page here. Okay, so this is, again, help yourself visually see how your week is going to be, which days already has a lot of appointments. So if you know you have a lot of appointments and already main focus, then you're not going to overwhelm yourself with lots of tasks on that day. Just the same way that we do a mood log in the morning and make sure what can we do to make sure we are setting ourselves up for success. Same way with your weekly spread. Don't put so much on there, because remember, things are going to come up that you don't plan for. The key to using your weekly spread, if you're not using a daily, is just you don't have to list everything. That list only what truly matters for the week. That's how I use my weekly spread, because I do have my daily as well as my running to-do list that I have set up when I do my brain dump. So if you are new to my brain dumping sessions, I'll make sure I pop the link in the description, but I do a brain dump every first Sunday, my Sunday here in Sydney, Australia, first Sunday of the month. And then on my private Plannerettes Inner Circle membership, we do it on a weekly basis to help keep us accountable and do it alongside others, other Plannerettes. So I've also got my running to-do list. But so this is really, if I go, what's going on? If I'm sort of like planning ahead, what's coming up for Saturday and Sunday? Oh, okay, well, I'm not going to set myself too much task on that day because I already have a couple of things. So my weekly spread is a place for all the things that truly matters for this week. It's gonna, like I said, gives you a top view of what you have going for the week. And when your week looks calmer on paper, then it's going to feel calmer in your mind. If you know straight away, lots of tasks, you're over here already overwhelmed, you look at the Wednesday and Thursday and you go, oh my goodness, how am I going to catch up with so many different stuff? All right, so here I've got all the time-specific stuff like my YouTube, my Plannerettes Inner Circle, Zoom session and brain dump. I've got little reminders to help wake up my older son, because he has his final year of his exams, year 12 exams, writing out my newsletter. And then here I have 3 small actionable steps that I have set for myself, because as I mentioned earlier, the last couple of days last week, I was feeling really, really anxious and had lots of, thoughts that weren't helping. So even though I plan, I have my hormonal changes and 20, 30 years of habit of thinking a certain way that I'm trying to change and reframe and tell myself that, no, I am a good person, I am a good mother, I am a good wife. But when, you certain things, creep in and I haven't helped myself with enough breaks and all the wellness, it's inevitable, all right? So when you do your planning, don't immediately think, oh, like I used to, everything's going to be all right now. I planned my week. I planned my new month. I've got my habit tracker. I've got my sleep tracker. I've got my steps tracker. And then when things fall apart, you go, oh, what a failure. What a loser, Marianne. Why didn't you get things done? Those are the things that I'm slowly trying to reframe, because it's taken me 20, 30 years to think that. It's going to take me a lot longer to break the habit or replace the habit. And so what I've done with my Plannerettes, we did a journaling session yesterday of how we feel, what is it we can do, and set small actionable steps. So these are things that I worked through and thought, these things are the things that help get me back on track when those moments. So Here, I'm going to write them down daily. So what is it? Get out. I'm going to just put in order. So 5-minute tidy up, 5-minute tidy up, and then get outside, and then eat an apple. Instead of reaching for the bag of chips, eat an apple. Okay, and guess what? I'm going to write that over and over and over again throughout the week. Because why? I need all the help I can get to remind me to go do these things, because I know past me has did better when I did these 3 things. So what is it that you can add on your weekly spread that is not just tasks and to-dos, that is you-centered? Okay, so yes, you have this well-being planner spread to help you with your key areas, and then there's the tracking as well, and you take a break. But the pages that you are looking at on a day-to-day basis, what sort of things can you put on it to help you, help future you, remind and guide if and when things aren't going well? So that's how I use my weekly spread. And then, if things come up of tasks and to-dos, then of course I'll put them there, or I'll also might put my, whatever I had, thought up on my brain dump on my running and had in my running to-do list. I might just have a look at the things that matter most based on what I had written on my running to-do list. Again, if you are new to my channel, running to-do list, there's a task management. I'll make sure to add all of these different videos in the description. All right, so that I'm just going to add exactly the same heading. All right, now if you did want to use the same planner printable that I have, it is part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle Printable. So in it, okay, you'll get, this is a blank dotted page that you can embellish. As you can see, for October, I drew all these different pumpkins and gourds and colored them in colorful markers. So you get a blank cover page. You'll get a calendar spread that you can embellish. You'll get a habit tracker and a mood, and that originally is sleep, but I've changed it to steps tracker. You'll get 5 weeks worth of the Wellbeing Planner spread, the weekly spread, daily planner spreads like this. So it's in half: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and a space for notes. And then it repeats 5 times. So enough planner, Wellbeing Planner, weekly and daily pages for 5 weeks for the full month, whether it has 4 or 5 weeks. A dotted page at spread at the back. So you've got 1, 2, 3 dotted for your gratitude log or any journaling you want. And it also has a victory log, again, clocking in those wins, whether they're small, big or small. Got lots done today, had a date night with hubby, tidied up my website, okay? Because it's great to flip back and go, actually, you know what? Even though maybe September 29th to October 5th was a hard, tough week, there was some goodness in there. And all you're doing when you're logging down your victory log or your gratitude log is you are looking for the positive things and training your brain. So then that's what it's going to start looking for, rather than all the things that's gone wrong or all the things that didn't go right. And also you do get, as part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle Printable, is the goals tracker. So again, based on Zig Ziglar's Wheel of Life, 7 key area of focus. So you've got the goals tracker you can use if you, like me, set monthly goals. You'll get a mid-month check-in. So, see how you're going before the end of the month, so you can change things up, as well as end of month. All right, so really important. It is currently at 20% off until, so it's nearly 7 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 5 and a bit more hours. It's on my website. So let me just pop that back in on the live chat right now. It's there and also in the description. The 20% discount, no code needed. If you add that that printable in your cart, and then at checkout, you'll see the 20%. So all those planner pages that I showed you are all part of the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable. Okay, or not that one. And you can pick, mix and match. You can, like me, print them all out, ready for the full month. Or maybe you just want to use the Wellbeing Planner spread, weekly spread. Or maybe you just want to use and add to your current planner pages the areas of focus. Or maybe you just want to use the habit tracker. Mix and match, which is sometimes what I do. Sometimes I won't use this daily page and won't print that out, and I would use my personal size daily planner pages. Okay, so take advantage of it. If you have a home printer and print your own printables, the 20% is really a great discount price. And these pages, I originally made them for myself. When I started homeschooling my younger son, who is on the autism spectrum, so back in 2019, trying to juggle, how am I going to juggle my own life, my home life, and also homeschooling, and ensure that I am looking after myself and looking after my well-being and not forgetting to look after me. Because for those of us who are, you know, caregivers of whether young ones, elderly, or our job is, you know, lots of stress, we need to make sure we are looking after ourselves. And the well-being, the Ultimate Planner Bundle that has these pages that are embellished today has really helped me manage, you know, a lot of the things that go on, that I can manage tasks, but it's the things that go on in my head. It's the dialogue that I have said to myself for so long that I need the help to guide me out of those thoughts or help reframe those thoughts. So the links in the description, as well as my Amazon storefront. Okay, so now on Instagram, I asked a question of who uses a self-care or wellness tracker. So it's 50-50, and that's okay, because for a lot of us, we were not taught to use planner to also include us. A lot of times the wellness planner pages or wellness trackers are separate from our daily planning. And so a lot of times when we separate it, or we forget one or the other, or we concentrate only on our tasks, to-dos, and appointments. And so that is why I included the Wellbeing Planner in my personal planning. And then when I started showing it on Instagram, because all of these planner pages, I did not, you know, meant to sell it. It's just I was using it for myself, and you know, it was showing, it was helping me, even if it's the tiniest little bit, step by step, you know, small steps, right? And then that's where it originated from. So really, if it's something, if you are, you know, feeling lost, or you're seeing that your own planner system currently is not setting you up for success and have areas for yourself, you may want to consider you getting the Ultimate Planner Bundle printable. Okay, so today we talked about using a planner as a tool for your well-being, not just to stay organized, not just for your to-do list, but to stay grounded. Okay, help you plant your feet on the ground, so then when you do get knocked about, like you know, I'm sure you do, or you will, you have a good foundation with your wellness, with your habits and key areas of focus that focus on you. You're taking your breaks, you're logging how you feel. Okay, so these are the things that help you avoid burning out and helps you be intentional with your weekly spreads. And these little steps add up to a calmer, more balanced week. Now, it's your turn. Let me know what's one well-being habit you're going to track this week. Is it breaks? Is it for your mental well-being, your spirituality? Is it drinking water, eating a piece of fruit, eating healthy? Let me know in the live chat, as well as if you are watching on replay, what's one well-being habit you're going to track this week. Okay, so next week, what's coming up for next week's plan with me? Well, we are going to do the mid-month goal check-in. See how well I am doing with the habits that I've set for myself. Check the habit tracker. See if I'm being consistent or at least being proactive. Okay, so I'll pop your answers with that, the what well-being habit tracker, and then I'll go back to it in a second. We'll do the mid-month check-in. It's got a chance to pause, look at what's working and maybe what's not, okay, and making a few gentle changes, gentle tweaks, pivot, with Ross from Friends, pivot, right? What changes are we going to make so we're not putting too much pressure on ourselves? So instead of waiting for the end of the month to make changes, okay, and then feeling even more behind, mid-month goal check-in is a great reset point. So you'll see how far you've already come along and adjust what's not quite right, and then look to the second half of October or the month with a clearer focus for the rest of the month. So make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss next week's plan with me, which is a mid-month goal check-in. And so I'll be live again. Let's quickly see what the people are saying. Lisa says, I purchased let's pop that there. Okay, I purchased and downloaded the planner bundle recently. My A5 printer paper should arrive Monday. I love it. Wait. So for those, I normally use 120 GSM, which is I think a 32-pound weighted paper, but these ones are a little bit thicker because I ran out of the 120 and I only had my 160. 120 GSM weighted paper should be thick enough so you do not get bleed through or ghosting of your markers or highlighters or dot ones, or even, let me see. What does that? I didn't even check what these dark markers look like. Okay. All right. So this is 160. And, well, you can't see that because it's got a washi tape. Let's have a look at this one. All right. So there we go. There you go. No bleed through. And let me just I'll do a 120 so you can see as well. So this is 120. I finally did buy some. Okay, so let me quickly have a look. So this is the Tombow Fudenosuke 120 GSM weighted paper. Mark my O's, do a couple of layers of it, and then let that dry. And then we're using a zebra mild liner. Okay, and so this is 120. Let's see, bleed through. There you go. Very, very faint, and that's because I have bright lights. If we put that there, very, very minimal ghosting. That's not going to bother me. So I normally use, this is normally a, here we go, I'll put this on here so you can see. 120 GSM. GSM. So if you are new to printing your own printable download, I do have a video showing the different weighted paper and what markers and pens, how it handles bleed through and ghosting. So I'll make sure to put that on the description. But if you check my channel, it should be like best paper for planner printables, for printing your planner printables. Okay, so 120 GSM, very, very light ghosting. So ghosting is just, you can see the markings from the pen from the other side. Bleed through is when the ink actually seeps through the grain of the page. Okay, so let's quickly check. So yes, I'm glad your paper should be arriving Monday. Excellent. So Erica, this month or week, I'll definitely be tracking workouts with or without weights. I'm actually starting a 3 days a week. The app that I'm using has just added dumbbell workouts for the home. So I've got it's only like 1 kilogram, 2 kilogram, and I think a 3 kilogram dumbbells, but I want to start doing strength training. All right, so Erica, you and I, we're going to start doing our weights, and we'll check back with each other each and every week. All right, I love it. I love it. I think it's 32-pound paper. Thank you, Lisa. I love it. Celia, hello. I've been watching your videos for quite a while and finally caught one of your lives. Absolutely love this. I love your creativity so much. Celia, yay! Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. Okay. Cindy says, everyone show Marianne some love. That's it. I'll show you love. You show me love. Give her a thumbs up indeed. Yes, please. If you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet, let me know. All right. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Now, I want you to help me light up the screen with all your beautiful messages. If you had any aha moments or you just want to see your name up on screen, do so. But yes, let me fill up the screen with all your love. I thank you so much. Big hugs. And if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, or just burnt out, please take a break. And that break can just be as simple as a deep breath. Let's do one now. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. I appreciate you so much, and I'll see you next week for our mid-month goal check-in. Bye, Plannerettes. Bye-bye. Bye. Ooh, bye. Bye. Thank you.